Thank you, brother.
Good morning, everybody. We are out here with Michael Pachter for, I guess, a live pack attack since Peter Mullen, who may join us via FaceTime, I think, but he was texting him and surprised all of us that he's not here this morning.
And now you can compare and contrast Fit and Flabby.
Please.
We're in the same place and same.
We're a dynamic duo, straight man comedy man. So Michael Pachter, I thought I'd just interview you. You've been up here all morning emceeing, taking my work, so now I have to earn my keep here by asking you some questions about the state of the business.
And I apologize in advance for the letdown because you're not going to learn anything.
Everyone is exiting the back.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody who wants to go out and get coffee now, or mid-sentence is fine too. You guys, please feel free to.
But there's big breaking news this morning, Michael Pachter, with the purchase of Minecraft.
Yes.
By Microsoft.
Yes.
$2.5 billion. I know this has been something that has been talked about. I know a bunch of companies were looking at Minecraft. Notch, Marcus, the founder, even tweeted, I think, back in June that he's looking for someone to buy it. So what's your take on this, this deal?
You know, I think that if you have a company for sale, it's really a good time to be you, no matter what your company is, because obviously there's a lot of money chasing a few ideas. I'm not surprised at the Minecraft acquisition, Mojang acquisition, because it's a successful brand. It has a desirable demographic. Apparently there have been a cumulative 100 million downloads of Minecraft, so there's a lot of people out there who've played it. Any of you who have played it, it really is only two types of people. It's either a hardcore gamer or it's a kid. And I know a lot of you hardcore gamers take advantage of kids in Minecraft. But it generates a tremendous amount of interest, a tremendous amount of eyeballs. Apparently, according to the Microsoft press release, the most successful PC game of all time. And I don't know if that's true, but at least that's what they said. I think that Microsoft is right now really concerned about being behind Sony with the Xbox One. And I think that they'll do anything they can to shore up that brand. Microsoft has a quite confusing device strategy. Some of you may have heard that they actually make a phone. Well, they used to make, I actually got asked a question from somebody at Microsoft about 2 years ago, and they said, do you track Zune sales? And I wrote back, what's a Zune? And I was kidding, of course. And they give me back like 6 paragraphs describing what a Zune was. So they make a phone. They also make a tablet, which and so they have this strategy. You know, Amazon's got a similar strategy where it's got something that they call a console and a phone and a tablet. And I think that's the new flavor, that companies are going to try to compete with devices and somehow integrate that into their core business. In Microsoft's case, I kind of get it because they have enterprise software and the application software. I'm not sure I actually get it with Amazon, but Amazon thinks it's going to hook you into becoming a Prime member if you have a Fire Phone or Fire TV or Kindle, and obviously sell you more stuff. I think Microsoft is looking for hooks to get you to buy an Xbox.
Do you think it's an Xbox play versus a mobile or a
I think right now it's future Xbox owners. So I think right now it's get the 9-year-old boy hooked, and somehow you'll see exclusive content drops for Minecraft on Xbox One that'll be 3 or 4 months exclusive.
And you said, and just to interrupt you quickly, they said that it's going to be they're going to keep it going on PlayStation, keep it going on iOS, Android. Do you think that's going to happen? Do you think Sony's
No, they
going
will.
to have
They will. I mean, much like they integrated smart glass into the Xbox, they didn't discriminate.
iOS, yeah.
They will keep Minecraft going on all platforms, but I think you'll see content drops. So
Microsoft is now a developer for PlayStation.
Yeah, well, maybe, but I mean, you might get Master Chief or Marcus, whatever his name is from Gears of War, as playable characters in Minecraft.
On PlayStation?
Not on PlayStation.
Right.
They'll probably do content drops that are Xbox only.
Right.
And they may ultimately put it on PlayStation, but I think that you'll see them. They're
And you think Sony's going to be open to that?
What's Sony going to say? You can't play it on PlayStation? Fine. Microsoft will cry because they'll make $10 million a year less.
Right.
That's not what this is about. So no, Microsoft doesn't care about how much money. Something also interesting in their press release, the financial press release said that they hoped to break even with the Mojang acquisition this year.
Yeah.
And that franchise did $100 million in profit a year ago. So if it's at $100 million in profit and all they're without is the interest on $2.5 billion, which is literally maybe $25 million a year, they're going to spend a ton of money. They're clearly going to step it up. They might start curtailing some of their presence on competitor platforms. I don't know, but I would expect.
Well, I also
status
wonder
quo
if
for a
they're.
while.
What do you think do you think there's a chance that it's going to become a subscription game?
Chance. I think that
That's where my head went is. It's going to turn into some kind of
I don't think Microsoft's in this to exploit the Minecraft player and extract more value. So most people, Minecraft's a paid download, and then they just play, and you can spend money in the game. But I would imagine 99% don't.
Right.
So no, I don't think that. I think that Microsoft is really all about promoting its Xbox division and sales of phone and sales of tablet.
How do you go from 100 million to 2.5 billion?
Well, 2.5 billion, the interest on that's only 25 million a year.
Right.
So I'm saying they're not going to, when they say break even, they don't mean they're going to get 2.5 billion
Right.
back. That's sunk cost, they don't care.
Right.
They're talking about, from a GAAP reporting perspective,
Right.
EPS for
Make their money
Microsoft
back.
Corporation, they will make more from Minecraft than they lose from not having that money in the bank generating interest.
Right.
Not very much.
Okay. The other thing to ask about is just the price tag. I mean, $2.5 billion.
Yeah.
I know a bunch of people were looking at it. What's your thought on how big that went?
There's a feeding frenzy in, I'm going to throw Microsoft in there, in Silicon Valley to buy stuff for a lot of money. I think that the WhatsApp acquisition by Facebook was shocking. I mean, the next highest offer was 11 billion, and Facebook felt compelled to spend 19. The Oculus VR acquisition for 2.3 billion. When I got a call on that the day it happened, the instant it happened, I swear I thought the reporter read the number wrong and the decimal point was in the wrong place. Yeah. That's a crazy number. Twitch, they're here today, but whatever you think about, or tomorrow, whatever you think about Twitch, $1 billion is a lot of money for a company with a reported 30 or so million in revenue. So billions are the norm, and I think that as you think about the desirable properties out there, there aren't that many.
Right.
And I think that everybody's competing against everybody else. I mean, Amazon buying Twitch, it was Google the week before.
Right.
And apparently Yahoo was in the mix. I think that if there's a hint that somebody else is interested, these price tags go up. It makes Sony's acquisition of Gaikai for only 400 and something million seem like a bargain. So if you have a company for sale, Wedbush will be happy to represent you, because I think, no, seriously, I think the sky is the limit for what you can sell stuff for.
Seller's market. Well, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I know. I mean, a bunch of people are obviously looking at Minecraft. You think it's the right fit for Microsoft though? Because it seems, I've heard that they're going to focus more on kind of the PC gaming moving forward. I think Phil Spencer has said that. Mobile, obviously. I mean, it's
a mid-core game.
Right.
It's one of those games that's really simple to play, but it's really difficult to master, and it really does have hardcore elements. I think Microsoft has been a hardcore-focused gaming company for the last several years, and you were going to interview Peter. The more casual stuff that they've done, him and Rave stuff never really worked that well.
Right.
Where the Gears, Halo stuff, just kills it. I think Microsoft would like to reinvent itself and have more mass appeal, so I think it's a decent fit. One thing, and I talked about this last week at another conference a week before, I think consoles are going away.
Right.
Because you used to need a console because you could not connect a microprocessor to your TV screen. Now, if you have a Chromecast stick or a Roku box, you can.
Right.
So why do we buy consoles? I mean, your phone will be powerful enough to power any game in 2 more generations. And so why buy a console? And I think Microsoft actually knows that.
Right.
So when you say they're focusing more PC, I think you're going to see the whole portfolio shift to PC. I think they want to stay in the games business because there's money there.
Right.
And I think Xbox Live has value. Running the server network has value, and matching people up. But I think they're preparing for a life after the Xbox, and so I think this is a very smart move.
Yes, I remember. I think a couple years ago we were at South by Southwest, and you gave a talk about how this could be the last console generation. Generated a lot of news around that. But do you really feel? I mean, this is the last PlayStation, the last Xbox that will ship as a sort of standalone hardware unit?
I think that they decline in popularity. I don't think they go to zero. So, I mean, for sure, Nintendo will have another console.
Right.
And Sony might. Sony's doing really interesting things with PlayStation Now, PlayStation TV. Sony looks like it's actually already acknowledged that maybe they can broaden their market without a console, but I think they'll always have a device for a hardcore guy. I just think that instead of being 250 million people who buy consoles, it'll be 100 million.
Right.
So think of it more like a high-end PC for gamers, and,
Right.
and I think people will buy those.
Another topic, switching gears here. Destiny came out last week, big release for Activision. They announced that they had shipped in $500 million of software. Reviews have been, sort of moderate, I think, on it, compared to sort of what people were expecting. What's your take on Destiny for Activision? Is this the next big franchise? Is this their next Call of Duty?
I mean, it's certainly a big franchise. It's not annualized. I was shocked at the Metacritic average of 75. If you look at Bungie's history, they have only gotten below a 92 once,
Right.
which was an 87. It seemed to me that this game couldn't possibly get below high 80s. And yet, I think there are about 25 reviews in now, and the average is 75. No one's going to save it. There won't be another 50 perfect scores, so
Right.
78 is about as best as you can hope for it. That's not good enough, I think, to support a recurring franchise. They're going to have to step it up next time. This one took 4 years.
Right.
So I'm not sure that they are going to get it right. The good news, though, is that Destiny, I don't know how they describe it, but it's really MMO-like in gameplay. They can keep iterating. And so, I remember back in the day when World of Warcraft came out, you saw like no reviews.
Right.
People said, we can't even play this long enough to master it and review it. And by the time we identify something wrong with it, they'll have fixed it, and Blizzard did.
Well, and part of it, even with Destiny, the high-level raids aren't even out yet. Those get turned
Right.
on in a few weeks. And that's why I just wonder from a business, the business perspective, was it right to ship it as a $60 box product, or is that sort of old thinking? I mean, should it have been early access and a beta that then becomes paid or subscription? And I think people were wondering
Yeah, I think
what they were
the
going to do. Did
plan-
they pick the right business model?
I think the plan from early on was to have a recurring revenue model. I think they still expected to sell a packaged product. So I think it was intended to be very much World of Warcraft-like, buy the game for $60 and then pay some type of a subscription, whether it's weekly, monthly, or per download, or
They didn't
per
go that way.
episode. No, they backed away from that about a year ago. I think that they freaked out and they don't want to change the model. But it's because they weren't going after the World of Warcraft player. They were going after the
Call of Duty
Halo
player.
Call of Duty player. And I think they'll come back and try that again, not with this game.
Do you think they were going to do subscription and decided to move away from that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I can't tell you that I know that. I can tell you just anecdotally based on conversations with
Right.
the Bungie guys and Activision people over the last 4 years. It was clear there was a recurring revenue model that was abandoned.
Now, let me ask you about the holidays coming up here for sort of the industry overall, especially the console space. Sony's doing very well, seems to be continue to do well. Microsoft is doing stunts now, like, get any free game you want when you buy an Xbox One. That happened last week with Destiny, or any game you wanted. Do you see what's sort of the forecast for the holidays? I think a lot of games in the console space are moving to 2015. So a lot of big titles that are not going to be coming out this holiday season. Do you think it's going to be a healthy holiday? Are the headlines going to be great?
I think if you are a gamer and you haven't bought a next-gen console yet, this is going to be the best holiday ever. And I will not tell you what Microsoft said to me last week, other than there's a holiday promotion coming. And I will tell you what Sony asked me last week when I spoke to them. Do you know what Microsoft's holiday promotion is? So, and I told them I'm not going to discuss it. But they will figure that out, and it's the best thing that could happen to gamers, is these guys competing for your dollars and trying to sell you stuff at ever decreasing prices. So last week, from Saturday to Saturday, you could buy the Madden bundle and get any free game, and that was clearly intended to capture Destiny share.
Right.
But you got $120 of software, for $399 and a console. That was a really good deal. You will see something like that in the fall from both of them. So I think it's a great time to be a gamer. And I have to say, seriously, if you didn't take advantage of that last week, I would wait until holiday. And there will be some type of a bundle, I'm sure of it. So yeah, it's a,
Well, I think they're both really fighting to be number one, right? I mean,
yeah, and I had a really,
numbers.
again, I really did talk to both of them. And the Microsoft guys just are unashamed, and they admit they want to win, and that's all that matters to them.
Yeah.
The Sony guys were pretty funny, because I said, do you really give a shit if it's like, if they sell 130 million consoles and you sell 127?
Right.
You know, do you really care? Like, if your sales are double,
Right.
and Sony did acknowledge, no, we'd be fine with 120 million consoles. You know,
Right.
so it's like, I don't know when this is going to let up. That's why I said take advantage of the next bundle, because it's going to be a good one, and then we'll see.
Excellent. All right. Well, I think our time is up. Michael Pachter, I think it's right over to you to introduce your next session, right?
The next session is a break, but I'm going to let me just tell you what we're doing.
Your thing, yes.
Thank you, John. I'm going to keep seated. Okay, we're going to have a break until 11, and we are going to try to get back on track. We'd also like to ask you to check out 3Nest Partners. 2 of them are competing to be a part of tomorrow's Who's Got Game Innovation Showdown. We'd like you to check out Pawnit and RealSpace 3D Audio and vote for your favorite in the Bizzabo app. One of them will be selected to join the finalists on stage. GamesBeat University, the first session begins at 11 a.m., one level below us in the Market Street room. We're kicking off GamesBeat University with Cass Phillips of Pocket Gems, talking about player-generated content, turning your community to creators. During the break, try to stop by the AppLift booth. They're giving away a GoPro Hero 3, and I, who get every device made, shipped to him for free, don't have one of those yet, so I'm actually going to go over there and see if I can win one, because I'm a cheap bastard and I don't buy anything, but I want one. So thank you very much.
We've got Peter Molyneux on FaceTime, apparently.
For real?
Peter Molyneux's calling us.
Swear to God?
Says connecting to Peter Molyneux.
Oh, God. Okay, well, maybe we can. I don't think we can get that on screen. Anyway, we're on break till 11 o'clock sharp here, 11 o'clock sharp, GamesBeat University. Thank you guys for the morning, and sorry for the last minute.